Glad to see you back. This time we are gonna create posts. Alright, the first step is to create a post database schema. So we're gonna come to the schema.sql file and create the post table. So a post is gonna have a content and reference the user table. And that's it. Now we're gonna create the SQL query. So we're gonna come to the queries.sql file. So we're gonna have a new query to create a post. That should be it. So now we're gonna come to the service, actually create a new file. So alright, to create a new post, we just need to pass the content. And this is gonna return with the created ID and the created timestamp. That's it. We're gonna create the prepare and validate functions now. Alright, inside prepare we are gonna trim the content. This is gonna make sure to remove empty spaces from the start and from the end of the string. Maybe we can replace all double line break by a single one and do the same for the spaces. So any double space is gonna be replaced by one. And inside validate, we are gonna check that the content is not empty. And also check that the content is less than maybe 1,000 characters. Alright, now we need to call these two methods. That's it. Now the next step is to take the user from here. So we're gonna take the user actually not from the input, but from the context. For that, we're gonna create a new function here. In this file, we're gonna create two functions, one to set the user inside the context, and another to get the user from the context. Alright, that's it. Now we're gonna come back here and take the user from the context, and if it's not set, we are gonna return with unauthenticated. Now we have the user here, so we can create a post. Oh, we need to run SQL generate. There we go. So here we need to pass the post ID also, so like so. There we go. Now we just need to respond back. And that should be all. Now we're gonna test this new method. Alright, so the first test is gonna be to check for the invalid post content. So maybe we're gonna check if the content is empty. And now we can try to test for the long content. So for this one, we are gonna repeat a letter 1,000 plus 1 time. Now, maybe we can test for the unauthenticated. For this, we need to pass a valid content now, so I'm gonna create a new function for that. So in this case, by just passing the context, which is the context background. Oh, my bad, this is autocopilot. So here the context is the context background. So this is gonna fail here. So this is the test. And after that, we can test the OK case. So to get here, we need to pass a context with a user inside. So we're gonna create a new function here. This function is gonna be a helper to create a user in the database. So we need to call a helper here. And now we're gonna use these queries to create a user. There we go. Now here in the OK case, we can use this function to generate a user and put it in the context. So we pass the normal context, which is the background, and we pass our new user. And this new context, we can use it here. So let's give this a try. We can run just one test by passing the name of the test. So, all right, cool. Now we know that the create post service is all tested. We can go to the form. So inside the web package, we're going to create a new file. And this is the handler to create a post. So the first step is to parse the incoming form. We're going to do something here, but not yet. So let's continue. All right, and now we call our create post service, passing the content from inside the form. And here too, we're going to do something about this error, but not now. And at the end, we're going to return to the home page. All right, let's register this handler in the roots. Now we're going to go to the home template and create the form. So inside of here, we're going to add a simple HTML form. And we're going to show it only if the user is logged in. And put the form inside of here. The form is going to perform a post request to the /post URL. And it's going to have a simple text area with the content. That should do it. Let's restart the server. And in the browser, if we log in, we can see the form here. So if we try to input something, we go to the post page. Let's see. I think we got an error. So this didn't redirect to the home page. So maybe something happened here, or perhaps here. So the reason I didn't add error handling here is because instead of displaying the home page, we're gonna redirect to the home page. But the issue about doing this is that we need to pass some data to the home page, like the error, for instance. So we're gonna pass that through the session. So inside here, we're gonna call session and we're gonna set the error inside. But now there is a problem, and is that sessions don't support errors here. This is gonna fail. So we're gonna create an additional function to handle this. There we go. This is simply gonna take the error as a string and put it there. So we can replace this call. We also want to pass the form, like so. On this case, at the top, we're gonna do the same. We're gonna pass the error and redirect. So now we can go to the home handler and take the error and the form from the context. So to the home data, we're gonna add the error and the form. And we're gonna take those values from the session. So again, session doesn't support error, so we are gonna go to the session file and create a new utility function for that. So as simple as that, we are gonna take a string, which is the error string, and try to return a new error, in the case the string is not empty. Again, we can do this, but we're gonna create a new utility function to handle the form. There we go. In this case, URL values can be set inside the session, but this is just for the getter, basically. There we go. Now we need to go to the handler, and the same way we register the user type to go, we're gonna register the URL values. That's it. Now let's give it a try. So let's create a new post. You cannot see it, so we're gonna check it inside the database. Oh, so this was not created. I know. We forgot to show the error here. So above the button, we are gonna do the same we did on the login page, like this. And on the text area, we are gonna show the all input data. There we go. Let's try again. There we go. This is the error. So we got unauthenticated, even though we are. So the reason here is because we forgot to set the user into the context. So we're gonna go to the login handler and create a new middleware. So here we're gonna try to read the user from the session and set the user into the context. So if the user doesn't exist inside the session, we are just gonna continue. Again, if for some strange case the user is not of a user type, we're gonna continue. And at the end, we're gonna set the user inside the context. So now we're gonna take this middleware and use it in the handler. So let's give it a try. And there we go, no error this time. So let's check the database again. And there we go, the post is created by the user, setting the new ID, and everything looks correct. I think that's everything for this video. On the next one, we're gonna continue and try to show the post here on the homepage. Leave any question down below and I'm gonna see you there.